What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're jumping in with a quick loot update for Shadowkeep. So now that we've had the final kind of major drop for the DLC, there are a few updated drops, weapons, curated roles, and things worth rounding up. So we're going to talk about new Altars of Sorrow rewards. That includes the Hive themed weapons and curated roles, and it looks like these are going to drop on a 3-week cycle. We'll talk about another hidden Altar of Sorrow drop for the Lunar badge, and updates to other reward drops in that badge. Some of those will definitely be useful if you're on the grind for the title. On top of this, Premonition is actually available, so we'll cover what's up with that. And yeah, a general look at some of the updated loot and rewards now that it's all visible. So I hope you guys find the video useful, and otherwise let's get into it. Okay, so there have been a bunch of questions about the Premonition Pulse rifle. We knew that this one was going to be associated with the dungeon in some way, as Bungie said, and it is actually a weapon that has an essence associated with it, obviously that's going to drop from a nightmare. But despite the content drop this week, the essence itself still hasn't been found, so it could be that it's going to be found on a different week inside of the dungeon, maybe there could be some variations, and it also looks like there could be other difficulties of that dungeon, so it could be linked to that. However, you can actually get the weapon at the moment if you get lucky from the Lunar engram. So that is the Dreambane engram that Eris has, but that is also featured at the Lectern of Enchantment, which is a new powerful drop. So if Premonition is a weapon that you really want at the moment, anything that gets you a Dreambane engram has the chance to give you that weapon. So you can definitely farm for it via RNG. I was able to use my friend Hulin's account right here, and he was lucky enough to pick it up. So top rolls for this weapon, if you can get it dropped for traits, would include Outlaw and Rangefinder in slot 1, and then Killclip, Headseeker, Dragonfly, or Demolitionist, pretty much in that order, depending on what you want to do with it, of course. And those would be the second slot perks. If we do get an update and that essence becomes available, then I will keep you posted because of course that will be a guaranteed way to acquire the weapon. Next though, Hive-themed weapons, and the ones that we thought would specifically be linked to the dungeon, are actually Altar of Sorrow weapons. So it's looking like we're going to have a 3-week cycle or rotation of featured weapons, just like in the Escalation Protocol. And I believe these weapons, as well as other Lunar badge drops, can actually drop in the dungeon, but they are not dungeon exclusive. They're part of a unique Altar of Sorrow loot table, which has 3 Hive weapons, and an additional Ghost Shell drop, which is required for the Lunar badge. So initially, Blasphemer is the one that's dropping in the game right now. You can randomly get it dropped whenever you complete the Tier 5 Altar of Sorrow event, and presumably it's going to be the same for all of the weapons, but it's also capable of randomly dropping as a curated role. And so the curated role itself does come with Precision Frame, which is a slug round shotgun, that's the intrinsic for the weapon, and then this specific role gets Hammerforged Rifling, Accurized Rounds, High Caliber Rounds, Quick Draw, and Opening Shot. On top of this, the Masterwork stat is for range, so for a PvP role, which is definitely where most people will want to use this weapon, that is absolutely stinking, and I'd totally put some time in to farm it this week. The curated roles are the ones that show up in collections, so these are visible on all 3 weapons, and that means for the sniper, Apostate, of course it's a rapid fire frame sniper, but the curated role comes with Fluted Barrel, Extended Mag, Accurized Rounds, Shield Disorient, and then we've got Rapid Hit. And then the Masterwork stat bonus for this curated role once again comes with +10 range. But there is the Heretic Rocket Launcher, everyone's absolute favourite. And I guess Bungie have done something kind of interesting with the curated roles, so it's an aggressive frame launcher, and the curated one will come with Volatile Launch, Quick Launch, and then Black Powder, or Implosion Rounds in the magazine. But we've got Demolitionist, where kills with a weapon generate grenade energy, and activating your grenade ability reloads the weapon from reserves, and that is paired with Cluster Bombs with a bonus stat for Blast Radius. And so it has some potential wherever you've got a bunch of ads and things that you can take down very quickly. But the interesting bit specifically is coming with Demolitionist, right? Otherwise, it certainly isn't going to break the mold of what we expect from rocket launchers in the game at the moment. So those are the 3 weapons and curated roles. Presumably next week, we'll get another featured weapon on that Tier 5 drop. And again, like EP, it seems like these will roll out over the course of 3 weeks. There is an additional drop though, which you can acquire from the Altars of Sorrow, so it's the Bane of Crotus Shell, and this is actually the remaining hidden item in the Lunar badge when you look at it at the moment. And so if you're hunting that one down, you know what you need. It does appear to be obtained randomly from Altars of Sorrow Tier 5 chests. I'm not 100% sure if it's farmable, although the weapons are, and so I would guess that's the case with the Ghost Shell as well. To mention a couple of things about the badge drops, now that the dungeon is here, Sanguine Static is the dungeon emblem, and we also have the Bane of Tyrants, which is the Pit of Heresy dungeon ship. Both of these are featured in the Lunar badge, and that does mean you'll need to clear the dungeon for the title, but it doesn't appear that you have to solo it or flawless it or anything crazy like that. If you're after the Lunar Memoriam emblem, it is now something you can achieve in the game by collecting the final ghost that Eris sends us off to find. So it is the Omar Agar ghost, which is actually found in the dungeon, and if you want a location for that, I'll link a video from Esoteric down below with where you can find it. The Moonrider Sparrow, which is featured in the badge, specifically will come from Eris's final memory. So when you complete the memory of Ariana 3, you'll get the Sparrow dropped. And then we have the ship, and this is actually from a Triumph. So it drops from the Triumph Sorrow's Bane, where at tier 5 of Altars of Sorrow, you need to clear all 5 phases in a row without a single sacrifice, and then defeat the boss. And so that should be pretty fun. You can track that one in game as well. And finally, we have the Moonshot Shell, which is found by killing all 4 Wandering Nightmares. And a specific nightmare is featured on the moon every single week, so you can look up the Lunar Wandering Nightmares if you need to find those. And there we go. Just wanted to do a quick update now that we have the information about all of those badge drops and what you need to chase down if the title is something that you've got your eyes on. It's also cool to get some more curated roles in the game. Didn't know if we were really going to see any more, and at least we have that confirmation that Altars of Sorrow does have its own unique kind of loot table. Then it appears that anything in the dungeon kind of comes from the combined loot tables from the moon and can drop randomly. So guys, let us know down below if you're hunting down the title for Shadowkeep. Give me your thoughts on those Altar of Sorrow weapons or any of the other unique drops here. And generally the update that we've just had, the dungeon. There is also Festival of the Lost, of course, so we've got plenty to be doing in the game. But if you've enjoyed this video, a rating is very much appreciated. And if you're new to the channel and you want to keep up to date with everything related to the game, then be sure to hit that subscribe button and I'll keep you posted. But otherwise, thank you for tuning in, and I hope you guys have an awesome day.